Welcome to our November 2020 virtual CCNH VISTA meeting on goal setting. As a result of this training, you will be able to create and track goals. Today we are going to cover goal setting basics, SMART goals, types of goals, tracking goals, and some goal activities. Let's start with goal setting basics. What are goals? Goals are the end toward which effort is directed according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Why set goals? Goals help provide long-term vision and motivation, and they help you focus and can allow you to use resources wisely. Here are some tips for goal setting. All of your goals, both personal and professional, should align with your values. You should be setting goals that you can control, i.e., don't set goals that rely heavily on other people, which would be outside of your control. Think big, don't limit yourself to small goals, go ahead and set some reach goals. Give yourself enough time to complete your goals, but know where you want to go and by when you want to be there. Don't stress about failure, instead plan for success. And finally, risks will always be there, so do what you can to manage them so they don't get in your way. Now for SMART goals, which should be a refresher from our October meeting. The S in SMART stands for specific. Make sure your goal answers the question, what will be accomplished? The M in SMART stands for measurable. Make sure your goal answers the question, what data will be used to measure the goal? The A in SMART stands for achievable. Make sure your goal is doable. It is good to set goals that will push you, but make sure you can actually complete them. The R in SMART stands for relevant. Make sure your goals align with bigger goals. Finally, the T in SMART stands for time-based. Make sure you set a time frame for accomplishing your goal. Goals can pretty much cover any amount of time. An example of a SMART goal for volunteer recruitment would be to recruit 25 volunteers for an event. To do that, you might ask 100 people and use a volunteer management system to track signups. This is achievable because you are asking enough people and are going to send it to your existing volunteer base, which is made up of people who care about your cause. It is relevant because you can't run the event without volunteers, and your organization needs the funds raised from this event to operate. Finally, you will send the ask out next week for the event, which takes place in 2 months. Let's dive into the different types of goals. First are professional and career goals. These could be job performance goals like raising $10,000 in donations through a Giving Tuesday campaign, or career aspirations like wanting to become the director of development of a nonprofit, and or skills needed for your current and or future roles, such as deciding to take a class on the nonprofit budget process. Next up are personal development goals. These could be education, whether that's earning a degree or taking a class of interest, learning a new language, or learning a new hobby like how to paint. Then there are personal goals. These could be health and fitness related, like wanting to get 8 hours of sleep every night, relationship focused, like what your family would look like, and financial, such as wanting to have $50,000 in savings by the end of next year. Since it's November and we were talking about goal setting, I also wanted to point out that New Year's resolutions are goals too. Start 2021 off right by setting some New Year's resolutions. Make sure to apply the things you've learned here as well to help you be successful. Now that we know what types of goals there are and how to create SMART goals, it's time to talk about tracking goals. Make sure to go back to the August and October meetings on self-care and time management. Many of the tracking systems we discussed in those are applicable. There are also a variety of apps that are specific to goal setting, such as the ones on the screen. There's an article in the resource guide that covers all of these. Not into technology? A good old pen and piece of paper can be used to track your goals too. As always, make sure you find what works for you. Here are 5 recommended goal setting activities to get the ideas flowing. You will find additional activities in the resource guide. These are just recommendations and you are not required to do any of them. Think about what your average perfect day would look like. What would you be doing? Who would you be with? Take a few minutes and really envision it. Then think about what you need to do to get from where you are now to that perfect day. Create goals around those. Alternatively, think about where you want to be 1 year from now, and then again, think about what you need to do to get from here to there. In the resource guide, you will find a variety of goal-setting worksheets that you can use to help walk you through setting goals as well. Vision boards are a fun way to visualize your goals. Here's one I created with the kids I used to work with. These are easy. All you have to do is find some magazines, cut out pictures, words, etc. that represent your goals, and put them together onto a poster board, whiteboard, etc. I have also heard someone say they use Pinterest and have a Pinterest board that they use as a digital vision board. The options are limitless, and you will find all sorts of ideas and resources for vision boards in the resource guide. A reminder that your VAD has all your VISTA goals laid out for you. All you need to do is figure out how you will accomplish them. To use our SMART goal as our reference, these are primarily the beginning of the S's of the goals. You need to come up with the M's, A's, R's, and T's. Take a bunch of pieces of paper, note cards, stickies, etc., and write one goal on each. Come up with 50 to 100. And they don't need to be current goals of yours, just any goals that people might want to accomplish. Then separate them into 2 piles, one for goals you might like to achieve, and one for goals you're not bothered about. Then take the piles of goals you might like to achieve and separate those into 2 piles, one for goals you are 100% certain about, and one for goals that you are less than 100% certain about. The goals you have left in the 100% certain pile are now the ones you know you want to move forward with. One last reminder to make sure you look through the resource guide. There are a lot of articles, tools, etc. in there that can help you with setting, tracking, and achieving your goals. Have any questions? Please feel free to email me. Also, if you have any topics that you would really like to see in a future training, don't hesitate to send those my way as well. Thank you.